Hello guys, Colonel Mini here. This series of video tutorials is designed for the brand new player to IL-2's Battle of Stalingrad. It's a very realistic and complex flight sim, and there's a lot to learn to get good at it. And to help you get there faster, check out my channel. I have over 100 tutorials to help guide your progress to excellence. This is Mission 3 of the Lightning Strikes campaign. Mission 3 has us attacking the rail yards at Junction, where the railway junction at the northeastern edge of the city is our target. Scattered clouds and a wind from the west at 5 to 10 knots. So heading in this direction we'll get an extra push by the wind, but coming back we'll be slowed down by the wind. So the target information, the target is halfway between this lake here and the river and the city. We're looking at the northeastern intersection here. And if we're not damaged, we'll just head 253 to get home. For emergency egress, we are about 35 kilometers from the friendly lines, and so our heading would be 270 to get across and then south. In today's loadout, I want to take as many bombs as possible, 6 500s. I want to take the Bendix, which is the radio direction finder, and I'm going to set up 1,000 liters of fuel so that we can see how much fuel we actually burn, and you can calculate that for future flights. In this mission, the engines are already started for us, but don't forget to take the parking brake off, which is the Windows key, so that you can taxi. So I'm just waiting for my 3 guys to taxi up behind me. And as per our engine parameters, we'll bring it back to 44 and 26. Right turn on route 080. And continuing the climb to 10,000 feet, we are through 8,300 at this time. And no need to set a supercharger to Super 2, it's automatic. It's important to understand your aircraft's systems, operating parameters, and general controls and performance, and they can be found under the Specifications tab here. This will provide very useful information that you should write down on your notepad for cruise, RPM, and power settings for combat, and for war emergency power. Water and oil temps are automatically controlled, as is the single stage supercharger, so really you have nothing to do. Operations features give you useful information like how to set your mixture to give you auto rich, which will give you the best performance, and auto lean, which will give you the best fuel economy. And leveling over 10,000 feet, 080. Auto level on. Now it's a good time to check the engine temperatures and pressures, and to pull the mixture back to lean. That's auto rich. We want auto lean. That will be the best fuel economy. This aircraft has front and rear fuel tanks. We put in 1,000 liters, so as we progress we'll see what the difference is, and finally when we land we'll see how much we've used up. Of course, navigation is key. Here is a river down below. Well, that has to be this river, so there should be a town to the right if we can see it under the clouds. Very distinctive square squiggle there, and there's the town in the distance. Back on track, 080. So we're flying at 280 miles an hour, which equates to 7.5 kilometers every minute. And as each of these squares represents 10 kilometers, it's going to take us about a minute and 5 or 10 seconds to get across each one. So to get to our next waypoint, it's going to take about 3 minutes. Because it's really difficult to navigate from up here and there's no real reason to be at this altitude, I'm going to come downhill and get to a place under the clouds where we can actually identify things. There's a nice looking lake down there to the left. Once we level off under the clouds, we'll find that on the map. And that is this lake here. Okay, confirming our position is over this lake here. The target should be dead ahead, and that's the city right there. So one last look at what I'm expecting to see. The rail yards over here, probably a few trains. The mission briefing calls for an altitude of about 2,000 feet, but I don't know what the flak is doing down there, so I'm going to stay up a little higher. Also gives me a bit better visibility. And that smoke down there is probably obscuring some of the targets. Okay, I see the rail yard down there just beyond the smoke and a train leaving the station. It's going to be the tents and things as the targets on the right hand side. And no flak as yet. I'm going to drop 2 bombs here. Flak. Now this flak. Can't see where it's coming from though. 2 more bombs on that same target. There's a flak position. I'm going to drop 3. Break off to the right because the flak was on the left. There's flak in the field and more flak from the train. Okay, let's take that train out with a bomb. That wasn't what I had in mind. Okay, heading home to 253. Not so much. You can see the fuel leaking out behind us. So much for our fuel calculations. Let's just hope we can get home. So the time is 11 minutes to 11, and the fuel situation is that the front tanks are empty and that the rear tanks both have about 70 gallons on each side. 4 minutes later, we're down to 60 gallons a side. And now we've lost an engine. And now we're going through the feathering procedure. See the prop changing its angle, and that will give us the least amount of drag. Now we need to center the ball, which is just above the yoke there. You'll see the ball moving left and right there, and that'll get the center line drag to a minimum. So left rudder on that. Okay, she's on auto level. Now normally in this kind of situation we would increase the power on the good engine and reduce all the drag on the bad engine. I'm just going to keep the power setting at standard for now because we're maintaining a good speed of 200. Everything else is good. And of course, once the airplane is under control, now we need to navigate. What are those lakes up ahead? They will be these lakes. So I'm across friendly lines. That's perfect. And now we just need to get home. Although our airspeed indicator says we're doing 200 miles an hour, if you recall from the weather briefing, there's a 10-knot wind blowing in towards us, so we're actually going over the ground at 190. The little town of Barvo there. And crossing the river here, the airfield should be basically dead ahead. And now if we look at our fuel tanks, they're empty. Will we make it? Good question. There's the airfield. Are we gonna make it? I don't know. We'll set up the best glide speed and see. 140 looks about right. The engines have stopped. I'm going to stop the other engine and get rid of the drag. Now we're just a glider. Now speed control is very important here. Keeping the ball in the center. Let's see what we can do. Once I'm assured of getting to the field, I can start to let the flaps down. Yeah, there's still a 10-knot headwind, remember? Doesn't matter if I land long. Gear down. Flaps down. I only get one chance at this. Speed. I'm doing a side slip here to create as much drag as possible. Hit the brakes as soon as we get down. Now, despite our good mission planning and following it, there are a lot of things that can happen that are beyond our control. So all you can do as a pilot is to know your aircraft and to practice for every eventuality, like this one. There's a lot of luck involved in that. Obviously, we took exactly the right amount of fuel. So thanks for watching, guys. Join me for Mission 4 of Lightning Strikes.
As always, if you've enjoyed this video, found it helpful, please like it or subscribe. Or if there's another topic you'd like me to cover, please